Is Kent Hughes about to capitalize on Vancouver's complete organizational collapse by acquiring Elias Pettersson and creating the most dominant center duo in the Eastern Conference? What's happening in Vancouver isn't a liquidation. It's arson after the shocking news that the Canucks traded Norris Trophy winner Quinn Hughes. The entire NHL entered maximum alert status. And in Montreal, Kent Hughes and Jeff Gorton smelled blood in the water. On Tuesday, December 23rd, 2025, analysis from Treege Wilson suggests the Canadiens have a clear path to execute the biggest deal of the decade, bringing Swedish superstar Elias Pettersson to wear the St. Flannel. The logic is flawless. With Kirby Dach and Alex Newhook sidelined by long-term injuries, a depressing routine for Habs fans, the team has survived with rookie Oliver Kapanen holding down the second line. Kapanen has been excellent, but to win the Stanley Cup, you need elite talent. Elias Pettersson is elite, and with Vancouver throwing in the towel, his $11.6 million contract transforms from a franchise pillar into a weight they desperately want to dump. Let's paint the picture of what Montreal's lineup would look like with Pettersson in the fold. Picture this carefully, because what you're about to read is genuinely frightening for opposing defensemen. First line, Zach Bolduc at left wing, Nick Suzuki at center, Cole Caulfield at right wing. That's the chemistry line. The group that's already proven they can generate offense at an elite level. Second line, Uri Slavkovsky at left wing, Elias Pettersson at center, Ivan Demidov at right wing. That's the chaos line. That size, genius, and finishing ability all on one unit. That's the line that breaks games open in the third period. That's the line that makes opposing coaches lose sleep. The Demidov factor is crucial here. Confirming that Ivan Demidov is on this team in this 2025 scenario, placing him alongside a cerebral passer like Pettersson would instantly unlock the Russian kid's 100-point potential. Demidov's creativity combined with Pettersson's playmaking and Slavkovsky's net front presence creates a matchup nightmare that no defense can adequately prepare for. But here's the obstacle that can't be ignored. Elias Pettersson controls his own destiny. He has a no-movement clause. Why would he accept Montreal? The answer is actually straightforward. Vancouver just traded Quinn Hughes. They've surrendered. They're rebuilding. Pettersson is 27 years old. He doesn't want to spend his prime years in a 5-year rebuild on the West Coast, watching his career slip away while the organization slowly develops young talent. Montreal, by contrast, is positioned differently. The Habs are just a few moves away from jumping from in the mix to legitimate contender, playing in an original six market with a young and vibrant roster featuring Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Caden Gull, and now Philip Danault as well, is infinitely more attractive than staying isolated in the West, while Vancouver rebuilds around prospects. Now let's talk about the price, because this is where Kent Hughes' genius emerges. Since Vancouver wants a clean house, the price might not be astronomical in terms of current roster pieces. The speculated proposal is Owen Beck, the elite defensive-minded center prospect, plus Adam Engstrom, the left-side defenseman where Montreal has excess depth, plus a first-round draft pick. The risk analysis is important here. Montreal is crowded on the left side of the defense with Gould, Matheson, Hudson, and Shakaj. Moving Engstrom doesn't hurt. Moving Beck stings a little, but with Pettersson arriving, Beck becomes redundant. You're trading a promising young center for an established superstar. That's an easy decision. There's a variation worth considering. If Vancouver demands Oliver Kapanen instead of Beck, Montreal should accept that deal without hesitation. You trade a good rookie for a consolidated star every single day of the week. The only untouchable prospect will be Michael Hage. Here's an interesting wrinkle. Pettersson has been out since December 5th, but the MRI revealed no significant damage. That could ironically lower his price. The Habs can use that minor injury and the massive contract to negotiate a discount on the assets being sent. It's leverage that shouldn't be ignored. Players like Elias Pettersson rarely become available. Players like Elias Pettersson never become available without costing 3 stars in return. The Canucks implosion created a market anomaly. If the Canadiens can unite Suzuki and Pettersson down the middle, with the defense anchored by Noah Dobson and the goal potentially secured by Jordan Binnington, Montreal transforms from an interesting young team into a legitimate Stanley Cup contender. Think about that reality for a moment. 2 elite centers, a young, dynamic roster, veteran leadership with Danault, a goaltender who's won playoff games. That's not a team competing for a playoff spot. That's a team competing for a championship. The window is open. Vancouver is selling. Montreal is buying. The only question left is whether Pettersson is willing to waive his no-movement clause, and whether both organizations can agree on the exact pieces. If they can, Montreal's entire trajectory changes. The rebuild accelerates. The timeline compresses. The dream of a Habs dynasty becomes tangible. Should Kent Hughes go all in on Pettersson, despite the massive contract and long-term commitment? Or should he pursue other options like Dylan Cousins or Braden Shen? Is this the blockbuster that transforms Montreal into an Eastern Conference powerhouse? Or is the risk too high? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And hit that like button if you think Elias Pettersson in a Canadiens jersey could finally bring a championship back to Montreal.